All right, so if you are looking to get into a food truck business, I'm going to give you several things that cause food trucks to fail. And we're going to dive into those and figure out how to avoid them right now. All right, so it is Damien from Marketing Food Online, and in this video, I'm actually going to give you the reasons why food trucks have a tendency to fail. And if you're a beginner and you're looking to get into owning a food truck business, you may want to pay attention to these, and they may... So first off, it's going to be your business plan. Many food entrepreneurs do not take the time to sit down and create a business plan that's going to spell out where you are, where you want to go, and how are you going to get there. Now, this doesn't have to be something that is intensely detailed. I can tell you from my own experience, when I started our Italian bakery, my wife and I just literally went at it and started to order materials, opening this, opening that. We created a whole huge menu that was a little bit more than we should have been doing at the time. We really didn't have a foundation at the time, and that was a great learning experience, because what I've done so far now is that we delved into it a few months later, sat down and created a business plan, which gave us actually a good direction, an understanding of where we could go with our business and where we have been and the things we've learned. So those expectations of taking a business and creating it are something that can be real and tangible and not just something imaginary or overwhelming. So business plans that are not done for food trucks can have a tendency to have a mental effect. It has a negative effect on the owner. And if you don't know exactly where you're going, you're not going to have a great success at a food truck. So business plans not only are something that you should do if you're looking for funding or trying to get a loan, but they really do give you, as a business owner and entrepreneur, an idea of a focus point where you want to take your business. Now, the next up is cash flow, budgetary and cash flow. If you want to start a food truck business, you need to know where every single dollar is going, especially if you're funding this on your own. A lot of food truck beginners and startups do not take that into serious consideration and sit down and understand the most important part of any business is its cash flow. Money coming in and money going out, and creating a budget that will allow you to know, you know what? This month, this is what we're going to purchase. Even if you have to buy one piece of equipment in addition to what you have on your truck already, doing that one piece of equipment at a time, buying only a certain set amount of ingredients, disposables, utensils, condiments, anything else that goes along with your daily operation. Make sure that you can account for your cash and that you're not overspending in one part of your food truck and underspending in another, because there's a lot of course fees. There's even, the annual fees and permits that are due sometimes either every 6 months to every year, inspections, the commissary fees, and everything else that goes along with it. So these are some things that you really should sit down and understand the importance of where the cash is coming in and how is it going out. So as your truck begins to make sales and you do start to grow the business, you know where all that hard-earned money that you just made is going to go out. Next up, getting additional help. The idea of having, of course, your own sole proprietor, running this thing on your own, you're going to have a food truck and do everything by yourself. The concept will wear you out quick. My wife and I experienced this. We still do every now and then, believe it or not, from time to time on our staffing for our candy business. But when we had our Italian bakery, that retail bakery wore us out very fast, because I, at the time, was thinking the same way. I was thinking, you know what, I can just do this on my own. I don't really need to hire any more help. We did have some family that helped us out from time to time. But we didn't actually hire a lot of help to get us up and running, and we did that on our own. So burning out really quickly because you think you can do everything on your own will definitely make your food truck end very fast. Next up, believe it or not, even though you're a food truck, you're not a stationary restaurant, food trucks need to have social media. You need to have a social media and a website. You really need to have all of these set up, whether it's on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You should, because if you are expecting to go to a certain food truck event and you haven't advertised, let's say, you don't have any following, local followers or any of that sort, and nobody knows where you're going to be at your next show, you're completely reliant upon the people going to that particular event. If you begin to create a social media outlet and you have some engaging articles, maybe some engaging photos, maybe even some sales or some coupons or something where you're directing people to your social media to check out where you'll be, and they could print up a certain coupon or have a certain code, you can have them come to your truck and meet you at those events. So having a social social media presence, that's going to allow you to expand and broaden and create those loyal customers who could come back on multiple events. And you're not solely relying on everyone who goes to, in summertime, you're going to a local music festival, and everyone at that event is the only people you're going to be reaching out to. When you have loyal local fans, they have a tendency to follow you where you go. But you can't do that or communicate that if you don't have social media or a website up and running. Lastly, one of the things and reasons why food trucks fail is that they don't weigh out all of the options when you are buying the food truck. When you're specifically either outfitting a used truck or if you're looking to buy a new one, a lot of times, a lot of new food truck owners don't think about every possible piece of equipment that they need and whether or not they can get it used. Maybe they can get something and retrofit it. Maybe they buy a new truck, but that new truck just doesn't have all of the equipment exactly, so then you're buying even more equipment. Make sure you weigh all the pros and cons of that particular truck that you're going to purchase and that it meets all of the needs of your particular menu. As I mentioned in some of my other food truck videos here on Marketing Food Online, you can definitely underestimate the type of equipment that you need, and you can end up buying a truck or getting a truck that doesn't necessarily fit your menu, and that's going to cause you to either alter your menu or you're going to alter the truck. So one of the two have to give. But a lot of times when you go out on the first venture, make sure you look at every possible dynamic of purchasing that vehicle, because that's the biggest part of an investment, obviously, when it comes to a food truck business, just like a restaurant. The biggest part of a restaurant startup is the purchase of the actual restaurant, whether it already has equipment or if you need to fill it with equipment. So that, just like your food truck, which is a restaurant on wheels, you need to make sure that you weigh all of the pros and cons and try to stretch your initial investment out as much as you can so you don't over budget yourself and put yourself into a really big negative financial debt prior to even just opening. Okay, because then you're going to spend a year or two just trying to climb out. So these are some things that could definitely take a food truck and end it very quickly if it's not something you look at in the get-go. When you start up a food truck, make sure that you take a look at all these dynamics and write down the plan. Write down a vision for your truck. See where you want to be in a few years. Don't be afraid to get additional help. If you need to hire people, then do that. You can always cut back or you can add on. It's not in stone. But if you try to do everything on your own, I'm going to tell you, you're going to be burnt out in less than a year. It's the same thing we had with our bakery and our deli when we had that up and running. Every year, at the end of the year, we were exhausted. And we realized, this was something that we really needed to get some additional help on. Social media, don't think that just because you have a food truck, you don't need to have some social media presence. You should. It's a huge point and a good way that you can actually attract a lot more loyal fans locally through those ways. So if these were helpful, do, as always, give me a big thumbs up. And if you get not subscribed to Marketing Food Online, hit that subscribe button. We have over 900 videos to help you get your food business up and running. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Thanks for watching Marketing Food Online. And if you are looking to create your own food truck, start a home-based food business under the cottage food law, franchise a food operation, start a packaged food business, private label your own food product, sell on Amazon, get your own online store, or sell food online, remember to subscribe and check out these videos for more resources. Take care.